All right, so here's our update on the Dodge D150R, as I'm calling it. This is what we did today. It's, let's see, what's the date? March 21st, I believe. March 21st. So, if you're watching this at a later date, which you will be, this is during the shelter-in-place order during the whole COVID-19 stuff. So, given that there isn't any work going on right now, I've had some pretty good time to, and luckily I'm still able to get parts. So, which I did need to order. But let's give it a little run through here. Rebuilding the rear end, right here. You can see here's the rear end. Chrysler 8 1/4 inch. You can buy a kit to rebuild it. What that comes with all the bearings. As you can see here, you can get that through Summit. You can also get the spider gears through Summit. And it comes with pretty much everything you need to put new bearings on the carrier, put new bearings on the pinion, put all the bearings in here. Let's see, like that. New bearing in there. Comes with a new seal. It's pretty much everything you need. It has the wheel bearings there for the axle. Seals, new pinion seal, which you can see under there. It comes with a whole new set of the bolts, which are left-hand thread and kind of tricky. I stripped one out because I did not know this, but or actually didn't remember. I think I probably heard about it one time, but a torque wrench is not all that accurate going left-hand to tighten. So I overdid it, but I just used my beam torque wrench and redid it. But in doing that, shipped a bolt out, so I had to order new ones. Nobody around had them. So luckily though, if you go on Summit and you order the Motive Gear 1304 bolt, it comes with a whole set. So I thought it was going to be one bolt. So I was kind of worried, because if I did strip another one, I'd have to order it again. But came in a day, just like most things with Summit. Let's see. So I've got the ring gear installed here. Like I said, all new bolts in the bottom. As you can see there, new bearings installed. A trick that I learned off of Rusty 411 YouTube channel is that the old races actually fit on top, and you can use it to push the bearing down in. So that was cool. Now it didn't have any shims for the races inside the snout there. So, and there was one shim here, a 32, on the pinion. So I'm gonna leave that. Only thing I messed up is the caps. I did not mark them when I took them off, so I don't know which one, if they go left or right. So that's gonna be a trick. And then the next thing, and then this is all cleaned up with like you saw probably on a earlier video, the cleaned it up with the white vinegar and then some purple power degreaser, and then sprayed it down with WD-40 to keep it from flash rusting. And then, but the axles, I think I'm gonna have to get sandblasted, so that'll be something I do next. I'm soaking the spider gears in this gear oil, this Lucas oil 85 140, to try to get it under all the washers and stuff. Those washers, it kind of makes it nice and lubricated there. I like to do that. I've never rebuilt a rear end before, so this is all new to me. But yeah, so I got a little bit more to go. I got the new, this all comes in the kit too, the new crush sleeve, new nut. So I've got a little bit more tricky, probably tomorrow. I'm gonna put the pinion in and start to get it bolted down. Apparently it's very tricky to get I think it's like 210 foot-pounds on the nut once you get the pinion in to crush the sleeve. And then you have to be able to spin the yoke from 21 to 30 21 minimum, 30 maximum inch-pounds. So I've never done all this before. So then that's the preload of the bearings. There's 2 bearings in here. One back here and then one in here. So, and then I'm gonna have to make some sort of tool to torque these in there. So that'll be kind of tricky because I have to find something that's gonna fit hex in that hex there. So that's it. But that's the update for today. Tomorrow, hopefully I'll have some more update. And then I'm gonna go buy a dial indicator so I can do backlash. But yeah, other than that, that's it. Hopefully I'll have more done tomorrow. All right, update, Dodge D150R. This is, I think it's like March 22nd. Still in the whole COVID-19 thing. But update on what we did today. So, I got the pinion in there. I got all the bearings on the carrier, bearing on there, shim, and then when you do that, crush spacer on the pinion, but you have to tighten this nut to crush the sleeve. It's like 200 foot-pounds, so it's incredibly difficult to hold the yoke while you're doing that. And then if you look in the manual, there's like a tool that like forks this and then you hold it. But I built this stand here to hold the rear end and so I could work on it. And so today I finished welding these on so it holds it in place, and then I made this little piece here to hold the yoke, so when you start torquing it, it's gonna hold it in place. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but this goes to show you always want to save these pieces, extra pieces. This is from the motor mount kit that I bought for the LS motor for this frame. It goes in there. They give you these little extra length of things, and so you can trim them to your own size. So I just saved the pieces in my metal, and then so that's what this piece is here. This is one of these little U pieces that I welded to this piece, this 2x2 tubing, which is what this is made out of, and then used some little angle to kind of strengthen it in there. But yeah, that's how I did that. Took me a little bit. I was sitting here, you can see all the little pieces I got here that I was messing around with. But yeah, there you go. Done. Yeah, that's it. That's it for today. I don't know. See what else we got. Yeah, just trying to put this rear end back together. Still got the carrier. Gotta put that in. Double check. I still gotta get like a dial indicator. Figure that out. And oh, I gotta torque this thing. So maybe we'll do that today. So yep, there we go. All right, little update. This is the reality of doing things you've never done before and learning the process. All right, so I got the pinion in with the crush sleeve. Went to preload the bearing. Never done this before, so got a torque wrench, 200, that goes up to 250 foot-pounds. They say in the manual, which is right there, minimum of 210 foot-pounds. So the key thing they say to get the preload of turning this with an inch-pound torque wrench, it's got to be 22 to 30 inch-pounds. In turning, that's how much it's going to torque to take to turn that. And that's how you'll know that this nut is torqued. Now they say with the new, what I've read is that with the new bearing, they want around 30 because they want it to break in. So they want a little bit tighter. If you're using your old bearings, then it can be less. But they say they recommend about 30. So I torqued it to 210 and it still had end play. This was still moving in and out. So I kept torquing it. Then they, pretty much online, people have said that I've looked around, taking everything with a grain of salt. You can get it to 210 with the torque wrench and then increments with a breaker bar to get it to the end plays taken out. And this rotational torque is 30 inch-pounds. So I did that. Now, thanks to Rusty411 YouTube channel, he does like a 3-part video on rebuilding this rear end. Puts out a lot of good pointers. He recommended to use the old nut. So this is my old nut, to torque it, to preload it, then remove it, put seal and new nut, which I did that. But then when I went back to preload it, it wasn't the same anymore because the sleeve had already been crushed. So the steps were different, the process, and I think I over torqued it. So now when I go to where I think it should be, it's too tight. So now I've over crushed the sleeve. So I'm gonna have to get a new sleeve, new nut, and then I'm just gonna do it once. Now that I kind of get the process. You know, I guess with a lot of stuff, you worry about over torquing it and breaking it. But with this, I don't think you have to worry about that. So, but that's how you learn things. Luckily, you only crush the sleeve or over because then you need a new sleeve, and it's, I don't know how much it is, but it's not that much. So I get a new sleeve, new nut, do it again. Should get it next time. Hopefully that's the next update, is that I got it. All right, here we go. This is attempt 2. I got a new crush sleeve. So I got this one, Dorman. Comes with 2 because they know you're gonna mess it up. So that's it right there, crush sleeve. I got the new one installed. So use my foot-pound torque wrench, torque it to 210, and then I got the inch-pound torque wrench that you put on this here, which right now, this is at 210 inch-pounds, or foot-pounds. So this is, in the manual, the minimum foot-pounds that they say you can torque this to. So if you can't, pretty much, if you can't get, if you go to 210 and it's tight, there's something wrong. Or like, if you go to 210 and this checks out at, you know, the 30 or 20 to 30 inch-pounds, you're good. If you're at 210 minimum foot-pounds. If you can't get to 210 and it's tight, like, or you get to 210 and it's way tighter than 30 inch-pounds when you check it, there's something wrong. So, and I'm using the shim that came off the Pinion. So that was the one that was the 32. So now I'm at 210. Spin this here. So pick this up, do a little spin. That's not 30, that's not even 20 inch-pounds. But you can also feel, there's some end play here. So we gotta take that end play out. There can't be any end play in there. So you get to 210 like I did, and there's end play, you gotta go tighter. So that's the steps that I've come to realize. So I'm gonna take it up a little bit, keep checking it, be patient, and we'll see. All right, I think I got it this time. So, use my foot-pound torque wrench over there.
that goes up to 250 foot-pounds. So I took it to 210, checked it, obviously not tight enough. Took it up in increments, that way we're just crushing that sleeve nice and easy. Took it up to 250 foot-pounds, which is what that maxes out at. Then I switched over to my breaker here, and I marked it, that way I knew how far I was going. I marked it here. And you can start, my mark is still there from the other day, but you can see that's my new mark here, that's my old mark, new mark. You can see I went that far. So sometimes you'll see that. I've seen it with Harley cylinder heads. You torque to a certain spec, and then you turn, you mark it, and then you make like a 90 degree. So it's kind of a similar thing here. But you can see as I turn it, this is set at 30 inch-pounds here. It just gets it. That's what you want right there. At least that's what I think you want. And then it feels tight. So it's got to be broken in and everything. So I might just spin it a bit just to get it, you know, going both directions. But yeah, that's it for that. So got that set. Now the next step will be to pop that bad boy in there and do the measurements on the backlash of that ring gear to the pinion gear.